We go. Hello, my friends. I am so excited to be here on Wednesday night. Most of you guys see me during the day, but in all honesty, I'm a night owl. So I'm really excited to be here and talk a little bit to you about some life hacks that I figured out that are going to help you become more, be more, do more, achieve more, have more. Not that everything is all about having stuff, but I like to have freedom. I like to have time freedom. If there were two things that I stood for in life, it would be make a lot of money and have a lot of freedom, because money gives you options, which means that you have freedom. I also believe the more money you have, the more you give. It's pretty simple, right? So I'm excited to chat with you a little bit tonight about this. And you know what? It's so funny because people say, don't say you're excited when you go on live video. Like, you're not that excited. No, I am. I'm always really excited to get on live with you guys. If you're coming in, you can tell me where you're watching from. You can introduce yourself in my comments. I can see everything. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook today. It is Wednesday night, my friends. Happy hump day. That's where we're at. Hi, guys. Hey, Wendy. Sorry, I had to fix the title on TikTok. Nice to see you. From Canada, I'm on Vancouver Island. That's where I live. That's what I'm doing. I wonder if you guys, if there's anybody on Facebook, if you can put up a comment, that would be rad, because I want to make sure that I can see them. Because if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. That is what I'm here for the next hour. For you, to get to know you, to help you, to work through some stuff, okay? So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about being an amateur versus being a pro, right? We all know people that dabble in a million things, but we know very few people that are masters of their craft. We know very few people that are excellent at their job, that you would rave about. And they fucking loving it. Please, I'm not going to go live with you on TikTok right now because I have better things to do. We were talking about how to level up your life. Don't hang out with people that try and interrupt a live broadcast. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. If this guy, I'm going to block this guy. Hold on just a second. See you later. See ya. Okay. So I'm going to start with something very, 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 very simple. If you are an amateur, you will blame everyone else when things go wrong. You'll blame your team. You'll blame the circumstance. You'll blame the weather. You'll blame someone else's bad mood. You will blame everyone, but take responsibility for yourself and your actions. If you are a pro, you will take ownership. You will know what your weaknesses are. And everybody has weaknesses. Everybody has qualities that they do not like about themselves, qualities that we wish that we could improve, right? Well, I'm telling you that you can improve those qualities. You can change the way that you operate. You can fix past trauma and childhood trauma and generational trauma, and you can decide to behave differently. You can decide to be the person that your ancestors were waiting for to change the game, right? You can do something a little different because you decided to take ownership of your life and stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming your parents and your crappy upbringing. Stop blaming your coworkers. Stop blaming everyone around you. Yay, Jessica, I am live on Facebook. Thank you for commenting so I know. So a key factor in this is when things get tough, and it's going to become very apparent. You can even do a pro-con list, right? Or an amateur versus pro list. And a lot of the times people have to drop their ego to go pro, but they also need a healthy dose of it. They also need to be able to stand up for themselves. They also need to hold themselves to their most valuable qualities and their morals and their values. They have to hold themselves to higher standards. I've learned over the last few years that you can give and give and give if you want to help people. But you know what? People will take and take and take and take. So you have to have boundaries. And you have to have your blinders on so that you do not see anybody else. You don't care who is coming and who is not coming because you are so focused on where you're going if you are going pro, right? Amateurs will listen. They'll listen to a training like this. They'll listen to an online course. They'll listen to a documentary. They'll listen to a TED Talk. Pros will study it. They will watch it repeatedly if it's something that they need to learn. They will study it and they will implement it. They will immediately take action, even if it's awkward, even if it's something they've never done before, and they'll get after it. They'll see things in a different light. So if you're somebody that goes about your day and you're trying to multitask and do a million things, so you're folding the laundry, you're making dinner, you're doing everything around the house, or you've hired somebody to do that, whatever you decide. But you are listening to something that you need to learn, right? A lot of people trying to multitask out there. But pros will time block and they'll set aside time to study and take notes and practice, right? So that studying, here's the second part of that. If you're an amateur, you'll study, but you won't take action. So you may be listening to something, you may be studying it because it's something that you need to learn. But the next step of that is to apply that action. And pros will apply action time and time again, even if they don't get the result, even if it's frustrating. And yes, Ricky, thank you so much for that on Facebook. They are always learning. They don't think that they know everything. And when they are in a room where they feel like they do, they get into a room where they feel uncomfortable because they don't. And they surround themselves with people that are better than them so that they can up-level their skills. So one of the things that will determine this is, are you interested in hitting a goal? Are you interested in growing a business? Are you interested in starting a business? Well, everybody's interested. Everybody wants to become a millionaire. Everyone's interested in becoming a millionaire. That's how you choose to do that, right? Are you interested? Because if you're just interested in it, you're an amateur. Because when things get tough, when things don't go your way, when things are frustrating, what happens? You quit, right? You stop. You keep going until it's uncomfortable, right? Is 20 enough? Is 20 what enough? I want to know. Sorry, I missed something. Where are you coming in from? Okay. So are you interested? Because 80% of the population is interested. They'd love to. They really want to. They're hoping and they're wishing. Or are you committed? Are you committed to making it happen, right? Are you committed to doing something different? Are you committed to going all the way? Are you committed to do it anyways, even when you don't feel like it? Even when you're pissed off? Even when you're exhausted or you're in pain? Are you committed to moving forward? Right? How to tell a girl I'm not interested in her, even though she keeps trying. You stop answering the phone because you're a better human. Stop leading her down the line. If you stop answering, she'll stop messaging you. Right? And yeah, you don't need millions to survive. But some people want to make millions because they want to thrive. They want to live an extraordinary life. They want to give back. They want to make an impact. They want to have a legacy for their families. They want to become more. They want to do more. Those are my kind of people. Right? Hey, man, I'm all for questions. Put them up there, Simon. All right. So are you committed? What does that mean to be committed? If you're a pro, you're committed. You're committed to doing it until you see results. You know what else you're committed to do? Making the difficult decisions that when you know something isn't going to work out, even though it's going to be painful or uncomfortable, you make a decision to change it, right? Dinner out, 100%, Simon. I do not cook. My husband does all the cooking, so I don't cook. He's great. And then he's like, how do I get out of the kitchen? I'm like, well, you make enough money and then we can hire a house cleaner and a housekeeper. And then we have somebody that makes our healthy food. And then you don't have to do it anymore. That's how we get out. Just like for reals. Just saying. Because I'm not going to cook. All right. When you are committed to helping, when you are committed to something that is deeply ingrained in you, that's how you go pro. Pros are masters of their craft. Do you know what it takes to master something? 10,000 hours. It takes 10,000 hours, 10,000 hours of conversations to master the art of speaking to humans, right? To communicating with all different kinds of personality types. They are committed to learning the skills they need to. They're committed to practicing until it's perfect because they know it's not going to be perfect off the bat. They are committed. James says, why have many, I'm guessing he means billionaires, and not help others? I'm not rich and I've helped loads. Because money doesn't make you a human. Money is a magnifier of who you are. And I'm going to be really honest with you. If you're making billions, you've solved a massive problem in the world, right? People get paid according to their value. If you become very, 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 very valuable to people, you'll get paid a lot of money. If your service or product brings a lot of value to people, it will make a lot of money. It is that simple. Yep, 10,000 hours is a long time away from TikTok. Absolutely. There's commitment. You have to sacrifice. So amateurs do it when they feel like it, right? They do it when they feel like it. They really want to watch that Netflix special, so they watch the Netflix special and they're like, I'll do it later. Then they go to bed. And they're like, I'll do it tomorrow when I feel like it, or I'll do it on the weekend. Professionals do what is necessary. They do not give up their time. They are very intentional with their time. They don't waste time, right? Hold on just a second. I'm going to make sure I can see all these. Oh, I like that I can show these. I didn't even know that I could do that. Amazing. That's fun. Wow, learning stuff new all the time. See, to master your craft, you have to learn new skills. You have to learn how to do the tough stuff. And that's what sets you apart from everybody else, because while they're watching Netflix, you're sitting there learning new skills. You're writing notes, right? That's the difference. That's the difference. They do what is necessary to succeed. They make hard decisions. They don't follow people. They work for a purpose. And usually that purpose is something that is directly tied to their morals and values at their core. There's only like less than a handful of things that you are sorry, this guy's got to stop and it's really distracting. I'm going to block him. Hold on just a sec. Da, da, da. See you later. I just find that so annoying. Please don't do that. It's really annoying. So they do what is necessary. They'll give up. They'll sacrifice sleep if they know that it's going to give them an outcome. They do not care what they will sacrifice as long as it gets them what they want. Now, this is interesting because you get to choose what you sacrifice. Some people hustle. They work really, really hard. And you know what they sacrifice? They sacrifice their families. They sacrifice their families because they think that what they're doing is the right thing. And they don't see the big picture. So you got to be able to see all sides of it. And one of the things as a female, I've definitely made family time or family goals part of my achievement, right? I get to put my kid to bed every night. I get to cuddle with her when I feel like it. She can stay home from school when she wants to. I never have to worry about her. I get to experience every little moment with her. And I get to create moments because we have freedom of time and because we have the resources to do those things. Hey, Michaela, nice to see you live, Mama. Hi, so great to see you. Do I go pro? Let me see. Hold on. So all I do in my free time is eat cheese and think about eating it. Do I go pro? What's your end goal? Don't worry, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into it. Just hang on a little bit and I will get into that. So here's the other thing. When pros do what's necessary, pros will master their skills, right? They'll do two things. They'll hire out people that have a better skill set than them if it's not worth their time, right? If their time is more valuable doing something else with the gifts that they have and they can make more time and get more accomplished doing that, they will hire it out and pay somebody else to do it with that expertise. But the second thing that they do, sorry, I keep getting somebody trying to get into my live video and it's very distracting and it's really annoying, I'm just going to say. But the second thing that they do is make their business a responsibility. Okay. So they make it their responsibility in their life. They don't make it anybody else's responsibility. They don't say, my team's got this, or my assistant has this or whatever. They take full ownership of it all. That's what they do. So they do what it takes. And so often I'll see amateurs and they'll say, I know that, right? I got that. I got it down. Okay, if you got it down, then why don't you have the result that you want? Because if you got it down, you'll be succeeding and having the result that you want. That's the difference, right? And you know what walk in this world, thank you. That's really smart, shaping time with the events you want to fill them with. Yeah, and I have to schedule them that way. I take my daughter to singing lessons every week. We usually go out for dinner dates once a week together as like a mom and daughter, right? Why? Because I can afford to do it and because it's a priority to me to have that time with her with no phones, no TV, no nothing, and I get to hear about her day. I get to hear what she learned, right? So I want to be the person that's there and I'm willing to go pro so that I can have the options and opportunity to do so. Okay. So pros master their skills and make their business their responsibility, right? Have you ever been around somebody that's like, oh, my team is driving me crazy, and they speak like negativity over the people around them, or my coworkers drive me nuts, right? Have you ever been around people like that? It's like, well, you're creating the environment. This is your perspective. This is how things work, right? You're showing up this way. This isn't how it has to be. But you've decided that it's going to be this way and you're speaking death over your work life. Whereas if you walk into work every day feeling super grateful for what you have, then you're willing to take responsibility for it and you're willing to do the work. You're willing to admit when you mess up. You also, if you're taking full ownership, you also don't have to give people reasons to why you make decisions, right? You don't owe a damn person an explanation. Not one. As long as you're going to own the consequences either way, you don't owe anybody an explanation, which is probably one of the biggest things that I've ever learned. Because I'll tell you what happens, and this is a bit of a side note. Sometimes when we don't own our experiences in life, sometimes when we make decisions and we don't own them, number one, we don't learn anything, but number two, it puts us in a place that, how am I going to put this? It puts us in a place that we can't see how it affects people around us, right? And so whenever there is some sort of conflict, whenever there is some sort of issue with you or a person that you work with or in life, a relationship, amateurs will diffuse that situation by talking to other people. And they'll try and validate their side, right? They'll try and validate their side. Like, you believe me, right? Like, you agree with me. Like, this is crazy, right? This person is being crazy. And they'll tell stories to validate their feelings and their opinion and their decisions. Pros will hit conflict on the head and communicate. They'll just like go full in, like they will not put it to the side, or they'll decide to back away and say, you know what, this is not worth my time. There's two different ways to look at it. They'll hit conflict head on and they'll deal with it head on so that it doesn't spread, so that there is clear communication, so there is some sort of solution and people can walk away feeling heard. That's the biggest issue. If you're GoPro, like I said, unless it's a lost cause, then they'll just move on without creating more conflict. Hi from Thailand. James, what do you do? Loads of people can't do your job. Loads of people can't do my job either, but I still teach. I still show them. I don't know if they can do what I do, but I make 6 figures doing it. So they could if they wanted to. It's a choice, right? It's a choice to be amateur. It's a choice to be pro. Anybody has that choice to choose. Like they get to decide what they want to show up as in life. So let's move on. Okay. One of the things that pros will master is communication. They will master how to talk to different personality types. They'll master how to diffuse situations. Instead of getting mad, they'll take time. My mom, when I was a little girl, my mom taught me about the 24-hour rule. And so whenever I was angry because somebody had said something to me or done something to me or upset me, I never was allowed to deal with that issue before 24 hours was up. Had to wait 24 hours. I could write about it. I could journal it. I could write an email. I could write a letter. I could do whatever I wanted. I could talk about it to my mom, but I was not allowed to continue down that path when I was emotionally charged. I'm good. Thanks. Right? So you have to learn how to communicate with all different types of people, right? All different personality types. Some people are overwhelming. They're bold, they are brave, they are leaders, they are the people that walk into a bar and everybody looks at them and they are big personalities, right? Some people like to be part of a community. Some people will really have the forefront of helping people. And it's not about the show. It's about how much good they can do in the world, right? Aw, thank you very much. That's really kind. I run a mastermind, a 6-figure profit plan mastermind, and I do not charge 8 figures, but we'll get there. My end goal is motivational speaking worldwide. One day. See, I'm putting that out there now. What day is it? April 28th. I'm saying it on live. I'm saying it on recording. April 28th, 2021. Okay. This will document that. Today will document that is my end goal. That's how I want to help people. That's how I want to show up. I want to help the masses. I want to help more people faster. I want to network and show people who I am and how I impact and how I help people. That's all that matters to me. That's why I get up in the morning. I don't know why you get up in the morning, but I get up in the morning because I know I have people to help. I know I have people to encourage. I have people to problem solve with. And that is my passion. Because of my past, right? Our mission is always from our mess. It is the things that we have overcome. It is the things that have hurt us the most, that we've healed through, that we want to help others get through without the pain that we had, right? If you're interested in the 6-figure profit plan, by the way, I help you figure out what you need in leadership, in systems, in duplication, in mindset, on how to break through that 6-figure mark, because I've done it in multiple businesses. And I really want to help people right now because they need it, right? Most of us need an extra $500 to $1,500 a month. You know what? I made that in my first month in online marketing when I had zero experience. Zero, $1,500 I made my first month. I don't know if it's going to work for you. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it, but I did. So why can't you? I was a hairstylist. I own my own salon. Like I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about being online. Aw, Tanya, I'm so happy. Thank you. You're so kind. I appreciate you. You know, so I talked a little bit about leaders make difficult decisions. They make decisions that are hard. They make decisions that are uncomfortable. They make decisions based on, and this is one of the things that'll make an amateur different from a pro. Amateurs make quick decisions based on their current circumstance they want to get out of. And that's why they don't succeed a lot of the time and hit their main or big goal, is because they make quick decisions based on their current situation. If they get uncomfortable and they're like, I don't like this, I'm not doing this anymore, then they don't, right? Pros make decisions based on who they want to become every single day. They might not be there yet, but they make decisions every single day based on who they want to become. Isn't that interesting? There is a lot worth working towards. You are absolutely right, Jimmy. 100%, right? Tanya said this business has changed her life. Thanks to my leadership. I think just thanks to a really good decision. Because Tanya and I used to work together at a different company. And the leadership that we worked with there, I knew I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in because I wasn't in it for the money, although the money is something that I am motivated by. I wasn't in it for the money. I was in it to help people. And when the situation started changing, I knew I couldn't help people anymore. And the reason that other people didn't agree with me is because they had a really big paycheck they weren't willing to walk away from because the system broke. But my integrity is worth more than a paycheck, so I decided to walk away because I knew that I wanted to help people in a less toxic environment. And I feel so grateful that we made a move and were able to create a team full of people that I am so grateful for. An absolute dream to work with, people that are like-minded and motivated and supportive and kind and loving. But I took a ton of heat for that. I took a lot of hate. I had people sabotage me. I had people set me up to make me look bad. I had people lie about me. Hey, people say they're going to sue me multiple times, by the way, personal or by the company, which none of it is true. No grounds for it, but it was a threat to take me off my game. But when you realize that your purpose is bigger than somebody else's opinion of you, you don't give a shit. You just don't. Sorry, sometimes I swear. If you don't like it, it's fine. You can hop off. It's no big deal. Right? Yeah. I'm also, I was a hairstylist, so I did do that. But I also am a huge fan of collagen. I think everybody over the age of 30 should take collagen, and I swear by it. And I fed it to my daughter when she was really young. I gave her collagen, and my little girl has the most beautiful hair and long, thick you've ever seen. It's crazy. Anyways, if you want to hear a little bit more about the collagen, it's in my bio in the milkshake link. Anyways, I know, James, I saw that you were an addictions counselor and you work with people that are addicted to anything. You surprised I was watching? If you don't fit with new management where you work, you should make a change. If they are not collagen peptides, liquid collagen. It's actually awesome. It has 7 international patents. It's like the only liquid collagen on the market that has the patents. There's people that are trying to duplicate it, but they can't. But it is 98% bioavailable. So you absorb 98% of it, whereas most processed collagens are 35% because they're processed and they're powder. Anyways, side note. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about learning to communicate, how pros learn how to communicate, okay? They learn how to discover people's color personalities, right? So right there, I just talked to you a little bit about collagen. Well, first I told you my hair looked great, right? Anti-aging, by the way, I'm 37. But the collagen, I gave some statistics. That's for a green personality type that's watching right now. Somebody that wants to know the information and the ingredients and the, yada, yada, all the details. So you talk to people in different languages. It's okay, James. We're friends. Don't worry about it. Okay. You talk to people in different languages. When you meet somebody that is highly motivated and driven and bold, they usually want to talk about money. When you meet somebody that loves being in a community of people and loves helping people, those people are yellows and they love being part of something. They don't like drama, right? Blues are fun and they want to party and they're the life of the party and they're here, there, and everywhere all the time. And when you learn how to talk in each one of those languages, you're not missing out on people that aren't like you, right? If you keep talking, if you never learn this and you just keep talking in your language to people, some people are going to like you, some people are going to hate you, some people are just going to feel indifferent. But if you learn how to speak and communicate in different languages, and I don't mean like dialects, I don't mean English, French, Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, I don't mean that. What I mean is when you learn to speak to different personality types, you end up having a different kind of connection with more people, right? How you talk to people, how you make them feel. How do you make people feel when you talk to them? It's so important to realize that how we show up affects everybody else around us, right? So the other thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit is your circle of influence. Why do people keep asking if I don't have a wig. It's my real hair for reals. How do I get rid of this guy? I'm going to get rid of him. Some point in time, I'm going to get rid of this guy. I don't know how. I'll figure it out, TikTok. But you're getting blocked later. Okay. Circle of influence. The people that you spend the most time with. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Because this will determine if you are an amateur or a pro. Right? Who are those people? You can probably name them off on your hand right now. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? I'm going to give you 5 questions to ask about those people. Okay? Number 1, do they make more or less money than you? Do they make more or less money than you? The people that you spend the most time with. Do you want to know why I asked that question? Because you are the sum of the people you spend time with. So if you have 5 people you spend the most time with, you add up their salaries and you divide it by 5, you are the average of that sum. So if you're spending time with people who make less money than you, they're probably not as motivated to move forward and make more money. If you spend time with people who make a lot of money more than you learn how to pick up the pace and quicken your rhythm and find a way to build as fast as they do. And you ask them how. You get in there and you'll ask them their life hacks. You know, instead of being envious of somebody that is where you want to be at the end of your life, start asking how they got there. Didn't happen overnight. Maybe it took 10 years, but they continued to go after it because they had a vision. So that comes back to, are you making decisions based on who you are right now or based on where you're going, who you become, right? The second question is, are you more successful or less successful? Have you achieved more or have they achieved more? How are you comparing yourself to them? And I don't mean in an envious way. We got to get over that stuff, right? But are they somebody that's more or less successful than you? Because if you start hanging out with people that are more successful than you, let me tell you, magic happens. You have different opportunities. You're introduced to different people. Sometimes I pay for access to people that are better than me. Sometimes I pay tens of thousands of dollars to be, around people that have more experience than me. I'll get in a mastermind so that I can create my own mastermind, right? I learn and then I help other people with that knowledge. The third question, do they give you energy or do they take it? Right? Are they an energy vampire and they suck it out of you? Or when you hang out with them, do you feel inspired and motivated and excited? Do you love hanging out with them? Right? If they're not somebody you love hanging out with and you don't look forward to hanging out with them, you're like, oh God, I got to go visit this person again. They're so draining. I'm going to leave there and I'm going to hear all about their sick cat and their dying parents and their terrible relationship and how much they hate their job. How exhausting. Misery loves company, so let them go talk to somebody else. Let them have that. You don't need to do that, right? Okay. The fourth question, do they cheer you on or cut you down? Do they cheer you on every step of the way? Do they cheer for you even if they don't benefit from that win? Ooh, that's a big one. Do you get congratulated? Do you have people take interest to you even if it doesn't benefit them, even if it's a big win, and are your friends cheering for you? Or are they always trying to knock you off your game? Are they always trying to cut you down and put down your ideas and say that's dumb, or like, "Oh, I can't believe you're doing that. Seriously? Really? Is that who you're hanging out with?" And the last one is, do they always support your idea, or do they give you constructive criticism? So here's the thing. More or less money, plus or minus. More money is a plus, less money is a minus in your inner circle, okay? More success is a plus, less success than you is a minus. Do they give you energy? It's a plus. Are they an energy vampire and they take it? It's a minus. Do they cheer you on every step of the way, no matter what? Or do they cut you down and always poke holes in your ideas, right? Cheer you on plus, cut you down minus. This last one is different. This last one's a little bit different. Do they always support your ideas, or do they give you constructive criticism? Now, it's difficult to figure out the people that you let in, that you will trust to give you constructive criticism in a nice way that gives you grace, even if they've got to give it to you straight. I definitely have people in my life that will tell me when I'm not acting at the best version of myself. And I have that for a reason, because I want to get better, right? Whether it's a skill set that I'm lacking, whether I drop the ball at work, whether I emotionally handle something wrong, whether I make an off the side comment that could be seen as offensive because I haven't mastered the art of communication yet, right? How does that change things? Because if you have somebody that always cheers you on, always supportive, almost like a fan club, that actually is detrimental. You need to start your inner five, that little circle needs to have people that will give you constructive criticism in a kind way. Now, I'm not saying that, that's kind of, you've got to make a judgment call there, right? Because people cutting you down is different than giving constructive criticism. One is respectful and one is not, right? So you know that you can hear hard news from certain types of people. Let them into your life. They will kill you with kindness and they will correct you when necessary. So out of those 5 questions, if you have any more than 1 minus, I would really seriously consider who you spend the most time with. I remember when I did this exercise, it was literally my best friend and my husband. Those are the only 2 people I spend time with. And then I realized, oh, no. It can be online people. It can be people that you're learning from. It can be, you might be in a mastermind or an online course, right? So it could be that at this point in time. And by the way, that circle of influence changes as you grow. Because when you grow with people, sometimes you outgrow them. Sometimes you got to leave them behind for a little bit. Because it's not your job to save other people. It's not your job to teach lessons. It's your job to be the example. It's your job to save yourself and show them how you did it. It's your job to let go of your ego and show up wholeheartedly and help them the best way that you can. And if you can't help them or they're disrespectful, then you don't have to help them. But it's how you show up. So those of you that are striving for more, and I get not everyone is going to love this conversation. I get that the way that I speak, hey, Chris Coda, nice to see you. I get that not everybody, he's on TikTok, by the way, I love it. Not everybody is going to make decisions based on the same things, right? If you want to go pro, if I work with people that want to make $100,000 a year, right? I also have goals of making millions, right? And so I'm working on that goal. But if those people that want to make $100,000 a year don't realize that they need to work at it, they need to build their skills, they have to show up every day, they have to be consistent, they have to be self-motivated, and they do it when they feel like it, they're never going to make it to $100,000 in a year. Why? Because your value isn't there. You get paid what your value is. Like we were talking about before with James, he said, well, look at all these billionaires in the world. What are they doing? They are billionaires because they are valuable to others. There's a reason that Amazon is massive, because it's valuable to you. When there is craziness going on in the world and you can't go anywhere, you can have everything delivered to your home. It might not come on Amazon Prime Time right now, but you can have everything delivered to your home. How valuable is that? It's very valuable. People who create valuable services and products, people who are valuable with their knowledge, they get paid a lot of money. And it's because they have built skills. You don't just build Amazon to a multi-billion-dollar company. Maybe wouldn't even be surprised if it went to trillion, at some point in time, because of the concept. It was a good idea, right? And no, not all millionaires are self-made. You're absolutely right. But if you want to be a self-made millionaire, you're going to have to work harder than people that are making $100,000 or $200,000 a year. And if you don't believe that you have to work hard, got another thing coming. And now I'm not saying that you have to burn out. I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice your family, because like I said before, I see my family as a win, right? Like I have personal and professional goals every day. And my personal goals is that I spend at least 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening with my daughter doing something that is not watching TV, whether it's reading stories or doing a puzzle, or we were holding baby chicks tonight because we got 12 baby hens, right? So we're down there holding the baby hens and learning how to pick up the hens, right? So I take at least 15 minutes of time with her that is one-on-one, that I'm paying attention, that I do not have my phone unless I'm taking pictures because she's freaking adorable, right? That I count as a win, because I value that so much in my life. You don't have to work and work and work and work and work and sacrifice everything, your health, your sleep, right? You don't have to do that. But you do have to take action, and it has to be in alignment with who you are, aligned action. It has to be working towards what your purpose is in how you help others, how you solve problems, right? I probably would go private, James. If your clients told you to go private and they're willing to pay you per hour. I used to work at a salon. I'll tell you this story. I used to work as an employee at a salon, and it was a great salon, by the way. I was top of my class when I graduated from hair school. Not that that's, really difficult. But I graduated at the top of my class, and then I got a job at the most prestigious salon in the city because they had a junior program, which means that I had to work my way up, right? I had to start off 1 day a week on the floor where I brought in my own clients. I had to hustle. Thank you for the rose, Meg. I really appreciate it. I had to hustle, right? I had to show up, and every other day of the week, other than that 1 day a week, which Sunday, by the way, got to work Sundays for my 1 day a week. And I also worked Mondays. Man, I had to do all the stuff in the salon that nobody wanted to do. I had to do towels and sweep the floor and do everything for the stylist. I met one of my best friends that way. I was an assistant at the salon, and I was hustling. I was working on weekends. I was serving. I was trying to pick up my clientele. So I was working really, really hard. And I remember being just exhausted. And my best friend, or one of my best friends, I was in one day, and she called me a different name than I was. She was like, "Hey, Jennifer, can you grab this?" Because I was just an assistant. She was like a stylist. She'd been there for years, right? She was established. She's like, "Hey, Jennifer, can you get this?" I'm like, yeah, but my name is not Jennifer. It's Christina. And I went and I got it and I came back. She's like, "Ooh, this one's spicy," right? I was going to correct her right away. I was like, "No, like I'm not here." And later on, she said, the reason that I didn't learn your name is something that I also learned, is that junior stylists and assistants came into that salon and left all the time, in and out, in and out. Like you wouldn't learn somebody's name for 3 months because they wouldn't last, right? But I'm telling this story for a reason, James, because you have to follow your intuition and your gut. If there is a need for your service outside of a job where you're making somebody else money and you're building their empire, you should be building a business yourself. You should be building an empire. You should have all of the write-offs of your own business. You should be building a clientele, a referral-based clientele if people love you. That's what should happen. Stop building somebody else's dream and start building your own, right? So I was in that salon for 5.5 years. I did a ton of education. I grew a full clientele. I had repeat customers. I was one of the top salespeople there because I learned the products inside out and backwards. I still remember going to the gym and like being on the treadmill and learning word for word what every product did, what the ingredient did, how did it work, right? I just memorize it so that I could spit it out in front of clients. How many people do that? Nobody takes the extra initiative, because that's the difference between an amateur and a pro, right? My very first class there talked about being $100,000 stylist. My friend Eileen Akins came in and did training on the $100,000 stylist. My God, I never thought that I could make $100,000. I came from a blue collar family. I just want to get a job to pay my bills. Like, I didn't think ahead, right? Didn't think about how I was going to pay my student loans off. I ended up working 14-hour days 3 times a week, working my full-time salon job and then working at the bar at night and then going home and going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, getting up the next morning at 9 a.m., starting all over again. I hustled because I had to pay it off, right? Crazy. Did you lose me? Did I lose myself? Did I go away on Facebook? Oh, no. Who knows what happened? Good thing we're on TikTok and YouTube. Right? Okay. So I worked at that salon. I built up my clientele 5 years in, 4.5, I think. I went up to have a one-on-one meeting. We had like these one-on-one meetings with management to like go over stuff, right? If you love what you do, make a business out of it. Okay. So in this meeting, I said, okay, so I've been working for the last 4 years towards being a senior stylist here so I could make $100,000 a year. That's what I wanted to do, right? I watched this training, one of my first training days, because they would have classes every Monday. And Eileen talked about how to break down $100,000 as a stylist, how to make that much money, right? Well, you can only do it at senior stylist level because it was virtually impossible. You'd be working around the clock as a junior stylist for what you're charging. So I knew I had to get to senior stylist so I could make $100,000 a month. So I go into this meeting and I'm like, hey, I want to make $100,000. Like, okay, I've brought in I have a full clientele. You know, my return clientele is excellent. My sales are excellent. I've done all the education that you've asked me for. Like, I'm pretty accredited. And she said to me, well, I can't give you a promotion because you've only been doing hair for 5 years. And then the guy that is the next level up, he's been doing hair for 11. So if I gave you a promotion, I'd have to give him one, and I can't give him one because his skill set isn't there. So I knew instantly that I had hit my glass ceiling. Instantly. I'm telling you this story for a reason, James. It's going to help you. If you love what you do, you're going to make so much more money when you are in control of your time freedom. Okay. I didn't have a business background. I didn't know how to start a business, but I said to her, well, how the heck am I supposed to make more money then? Like, I'm capping out at $36,000 a year. Like, I can't even pay my rent, and I'm working 3 nights a week at a bar, and I'm exhausted. I can't keep doing this. This is not getting me towards my goal. So what's your solution? And she said, well, you should do some hair at home. Do your friend's hair or do a couple of weddings on your days off. So I switched my schedule around. I started working Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday to Saturday. And then I started taking weddings on Sundays. I started going on site to do weddings. And I made pretty good money. And as time went on, I started taking more and more people at home, not from the salon, right? I had a full clientele at the salon, and then I started building another clientele. I never switched. I never went over, and I started building another clientele at home. Can I tell you something, James? That 1 day a week that I was working at home, I was making more money than 4 days a week at the salon. And I loved it. I'm not a photographer. No, I'm an online marketer. Hey, Emily, nice to see you. I also run a mastermind, so I'm a coach and a mentor for people that are looking to break through 6 figures in their business. I help you do that with many different tools. So if you want any more information on that, please reach out and contact me, and I'm happy to have a conversation to see if it's a good fit for you. Because it's not a good fit for everyone, but just for the select few, right? So I started making more money in that 1 day a week at home than I made it 4 days a week at the salon. And one day I walked into work and the boss was there. Now, the boss had been on a hiatus. I won't even get into the details and the drama of why she was on a 2-year hiatus, but let's just say sexual harassment was a massive issue. And she came back after her husband left, and we we didn't see eye to eye on things. She came in and somebody was looking for me to do a wedding and said that I went on site. She's like, why are you doing on-site weddings? Well, your manager told me I could. So I did. And she's like, well, I don't want you doing those anymore. I said, well, how about you're missing the mark in the salon. How about having an on-site wedding team? Like, this is something we specialize in every single weekend. Why not have an on-site wedding team? I will run it for you. I'll manage it for you. And she's like, I'm not interested in a partner. She made that decision for me that day. So easy. So easy. And it scared the crap out of me, James. Let me tell you, it scared the crap out of me. But I went home that day and my husband just said, let's do it. He's like, screw it. Let's do your thing. And within 2 weeks, we had a salon set up in the house. Now, I'm not going to say that was easy. And the second kick in the teeth was when I started that business, the salon owner called every single human that was a client of mine that I'd worked hard to get, that I found at the bar, at my serving job, or had met on the street or networked with, however I did, right, and brought them in. She called every single client and offered them a free service at the salon. I couldn't compete with that as a small business. But I was very lucky that my husband was working at the time, and I just did the best that I could. And I said, look, it's almost Christmas time. Take the free service and I'll see you in the new year. You need extra money for Christmas presents. And sometimes you got to take the high road to earn people's trust. And so I did. And I took a hit for it financially, but it paid me in spades the following year. My money mindset grew that year because I didn't realize making $10,000 a month was a thing. I didn't realize people could do that. And then when I realized that if you can make $10,000, you can make 20. If you make 20, you can make 30. So on and so on, right? Things change. It's all scalable and you just have to learn how to do it. And the people that learn how to do it, the people that fail forward, man, is it hard, right? But amateurs will quit in those moments, or they'll severely slow down and just think, this is good enough. We used to call my dad, we still call him Overkill Glenn, because my dad does everything perfectly. Like 6 ways from Sunday, it is perfect. It is the best quality material. It's been triple checked. But that standard was set in my life. And so I continue to fail forward until I get the result that I want. I continue to move forward. I continue to help other people. I mess up along the way. I take extreme ownership. Thank you, Jocko Willink. Jocko. I shouldn't say Jocko. Jocko Willink. Take extreme ownership of my life. And when things mess up, which by the way they do, sometimes I'm in a bad mood. Sometimes I say things I shouldn't. And I apologize. And I say, you know what? I was in a bad mood and that was unwarranted. And I'm really sorry. That was not the best version of myself. And I hope that they forgive me. But the difference is when you come to expect failure, right? Like when you come to expect that something is going to suck, that there's going to be a roadblock or a challenge, and that you're going to have to figure it out. When you learn to be an expert problem solver, and if you don't know how to solve that problem, you go out and find somebody that's already solved it and ask them how to do it and ask for help. If you can drop your ego at the door and learn how to be coachable and learn how to learn and learn how to apply, gosh, you'll take over the world. You just have to keep at it. You just have to understand that your decisions that you're making today are affecting the ones in your future. And that every little situation and every little decision that you make, it starts to shape the path of your life, right? Nothing worth doing ever starts easy, but it gets easier in time. You're absolutely right. 100%. Everything changes. Everything changes. Oh, Samantha, I just realized why you asked me if I was a photographer, because of the pictures in those are definitely not that. They're just vacation photos. But I'm not a photographer, no. Do you guys have any other questions? Right? I've been around for almost an hour and I really wanted to talk about the tough stuff and not really give it to you, but also just like make you think, hey, I could give up today, could quit, or I could figure it out. Sometimes you got to take 2 steps back before you take 1 step forward. Sometimes you got to eat your words and say sorry. Sometimes you have to walk away when you want to fight. Right? It's completely up to you and how you show up. All right, you guys, if there's no questions, I am going to let you go. But I really appreciate you being here tonight. You could be with your families, you could be watching Netflix, you could be doing anything but this, but you chose to be a part of something because you wanted to learn, you wanted to grow, you wanted to change your perspective, right? You wanted to see things differently, maybe. I hope you do. I hope you have that epiphany that you are enough the way that you are right now, and that you don't need to change. You don't need to do anything except for commit to being great and being you wholeheartedly. There's no other person in the world that is like you. You can't be somebody else. So just be you and harness the gifts that you have, whether you are an excellent mechanic or you are a performer and you do ballet. Maybe you're a cider maker like we will be, or my husband is a cider maker already. He's really great. Maybe you're a mom who wants to consciously raise her kids because she didn't get the same courtesy when she was a kid. Whatever your goal is, if you want to be good, you have to struggle through and do the tough stuff. That's the truth. All right, my friends, hope you have an amazing Wednesday evening. We will see you again next Wednesday. And I feel very, very, very grateful that I got to spend some time with you tonight. If you know a friend that could use information like this, I do have a free group on Facebook, Life Transformed, if you want to check it out. You are more than welcome to add yourself or send me a message if you have any questions. I feel honored to spend this last hour with you, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.